So the only what people can see is above that surface. But what they can't see is the work that's been done. The root system is the know-how, the process, okay? Humility, the way you guys handle more than anybody in the city. One step at a time. Right? But the root system's in place. The root system's in place.
It's week number 9 of this National Football League season, and time for another edition of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, here inside the Globe Live studio at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones along with Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy, as the Cowboys are on the road again this week. A noon kickoff Texas time against the Atlanta Falcons. And here it is, the month of November. It's every year. For your team, this is a big stretch. You got 5 games in the span of 26 days, and this is a big game against Atlanta on Sunday.
Definitely. I mean, it's, frankly, we're used to this stretch here of November, but an opportunity to go get our 4th win on the road. This is real important. I think just really like anything in this game is to build off of the things that occurred in last week's game. So I'll tell you, we've been very impressed with Atlanta throughout the whole preparation week, and this is going to be a hell of a football game.
All right, and coming out of last week's game, I would imagine when the team got back out here, there was a resolve that the team had to take care of business as usual. But what is it that you hope they learned from last week's game?
Well, I mean, it's just like anything. It's the importance of playing 4 quarters. We went into the game to play complementary football. I thought we achieved that in the first, second, and fourth quarter, but that's not the way it works. The momentum that we lost in the third quarter and the big play opportunities is the biggest category where they were ahead of us. Just learn from that. The ebb and flow is always going to change throughout every game. They're always different, but the momentum swings are critical, and take advantage of them when you have them, and make sure you're fighting back to get out of them when it's going the other way.
All right, as far as these Falcons are concerned, of course, Raheem Morris in his first year hired Zach Robinson from the Rams in his first year as the offensive coordinator. Kirk Cousins at quarterback. What do you see in them offensively?
I mean, very similar. You see there's a lot of carryover to the Rams, a lot of 11 personnel, excellent perimeter group. Your offensive line's playing well. Supposed to get the center back this week. So this is a very, very productive offense. They've gotten off to a really good start.
And Mike Zimmer, of course, had Kirk Cousins at Minnesota. And when he was asked about it going up against Kirk Cousins, he said, yeah, I know a lot about him, but he knows a lot about me too. They've got against each other quite a bit in practice through the years.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's just like anything. I mean, Kirk probably knows as much about Mike's defense as anybody. Our personal experience, this past training camp. I mean, it's a tough scheme to go against. It's great work, and yeah, definitely. So I think it is something you're aware of. But it's new game, new team, new players.
Yeah, Terry Fontenot, their GM, they've invested a lot in their weapons on offense. Top 10 draft picks, and how about the running back Bijan Robinson out of Texas?
Bijan's impressive. I mean, the obvious is he's a dynamic runner, but just from a protection standpoint, I've been very impressed with his protection pickups, his understanding. Not only stunts and games and pressures, but just a complete player having a heck of a year.
And how about a couple of those big weapons on offense? A 4th pick in the draft, Kyle Pitts at tight end, who had a couple of touchdowns last week. And then Drake London as well, who was another top 10 pick.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, their perimeter is as good as advertised, and I think you can see the connection that they have. And they're stressing you because they are in 11 personnel. So it's just like anything. When you highlight one personnel, obviously the scheme multiplicity goes up, and they do a good job of that, create matchups for their perimeter.
All right, one guy I want to ask you about on your defense who's logging more snaps than he has so far in his still young career, Chauncey Golston, and the way he's played here, especially the last 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, definitely, Chauncey. I mean, this is a great opportunity for him. I mean, he's earned it. He's come through the ranks here. And just really happy for him for the number of opportunities, pretty much the play count. But he gives us great flexibility. I think he's more natural playing outside, as we move them up and down the line. So, but yes, he's been very, very consistent for us.
All right, I got to let you know, there's a guy on the inactive list this week. It's David Moore of the Dallas Morning News. No David this week, but filling in we'll be hearing from Hunter Luepke. Yes, Hunter Luepke, one of my favorite players on this team. Not analyzing the team. We're going to find out more about Hunter Luepke when the Mike McCarthy Show continues in a moment.
That's definitely a huge upgrade.
The Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant, was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Ford, your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Time to get to know one of the Cowboys players this week. It's fullback Hunter Luepke.
He will give it a Luepke, crashing to the right side. Touchdown. Hunter Luepke in the red zone.
I mean, it's great. I mean, I grew up watching fullbacks, Mike Allstott, John Kuhn, Ripkowski, C.J. Ham, and then once I got older, I mean, there were still guys that I could try to, model my game at, and keep on watching to perfect my craft too. So, I mean, it's just great to be another one where guys can, who are playing fullback in high school or college can kind of look up to as well. Yeah, I think just me being confident in what I'm asked to do and just earning trust with the coaching staff and, with each offensive player that's on the field. You gotta earn your role on this team, and, I'm just trying to continue to do that as much as I can. I think North Dakota State definitely did. Being in the tight end fullback room my whole career, I had to learn every single position for every single play on the offensive side of the ball. So I knew what the left tackle was doing. I knew what the X receiver was doing. So I think that kind of helped me grasp the why behind plays, which has helped me understand this playbook a lot better. So. I think everything's just starting to slow down with the more reps that I've gotten, and just, like I said before, the confidence really helps. Yeah, I watched them growing up all the time in college, especially, I'm a Wisconsin guy, so I used to watch Delvin beat up on the Packers all the time, and I've always been a really big fan of Zeke, and they're really knowledgeable guys, especially in the pass game, just trying to help me out now that I've taken on a little bit more of that role. So they're great. I just think their positivity and just the knowledge, like stuff that I never really thought of before. They'll just give me little keys to pick up on, which is really helpful. It was pretty awesome because I've always been a big fan of Coach McCarthy. For back to the Green Bay days, using fullbacks. I knew he had a love for fullbacks with the way he used John Kuhn, and my whole family was excited too when I told him I was coming to play for McCarthy. I like to spend a lot of time with my family. I just had a little one, so every chance I get away from the facility, I'm trying to spend it with her and my wife and my 2 dogs, and yeah.
Hunter Luepke making an impact on this Cowboys offense in his second year in the NFL. And up next here on the Mike McCarthy Show, Will McClay breaks down these Atlanta Falcons.
Their running back is healthy, so it's some guys that can do everything, just like the 49ers. So they have a tight end that can do everything, receivers that can do everything, and a running back that can do everything, and a quarterback that can distribute the ball. So I feel like we should be prepared, but at the same time, we got to see what they like to do and how they want to attack it.
This segment was brought to you by blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. This segment is brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort. Proud to be the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Please game responsibly.
Yeah, they're a really good offense. You know, Kirk Cousins has been in the league for forever, you know, so, you know, he's a great quarterback. They got a lot of great weapons at wide receiver. The running back is phenomenal. So, you know, we just got to do a good job. They like to throw the ball a lot. They can run the ball too, so, you know, we just got to do a good job, play the calls that's called, and, you know, get the job done.
The Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, continues now as we are joined by Will McClay with the telestrator out here in the Globe Live studios. We're going to look at these Atlanta Falcons. Let's start on offense, and let's start with the second-year man out of Texas. How about Bijan Robinson, number 7?
Yeah, Bijan's a do-it-all type back. He's got the feet of a little guy and the power of a big guy and vision and contact balance. You'll look at him here. They're going to stretch the ball, but he's looking for the cutback lane. What makes a good cutback runner is the vision and then the ability to put your foot in the ground and get vertical and then make one miss in open space. We're going to have to rally around and tackle him.
There are several top 10 picks on this offense, weapons for Kirk Cousins. How about the tight end, Kyle Pitts?
Yeah, Kirk Cousins has come in there top 10 passing right now, but what they've got is weapons, and Pitts is one here, lined at the tight end here. If you're able to run the ball, what Pitts does is threaten the middle of the field with size. He's a hard matchup for safeties and linebackers with his speed, and then his size, it's hard for a corner to cover him, so they do a good job of getting the ball deep.
So there's a tight end with wide receiver skills. And how about the wide receivers? How about the one that looks kind of like a tight end, Drake London?
Yeah, big, physical guy, really good route runner, can attack the defense at all 3 levels. You very rarely see a 6'3" guy able to run option routes here. So option routers go in or out, but make the attack the defender and win there, and he does it, and then he's so hard after the catch.
And then they acquired another playmaker in the offseason. That would be Darnell Mooney.
He's their shot guy, deep shot guy, and Kurt loves him on crossers and deep routes. So here you'll see a reduced split. It's going to be man coverage. They know it's man coverage when you get the motion. He attacks the leverage, and then he builds the route, and then a great throw by Kurt here. That's a weapon that they like to use down the middle of the field.
And he can run away from a defender. All right, on defense, their playmaker at safety, Jesse Bates.
Yeah, I mean, what he does is he attacks the football. Very, very smart, very instinctive. Looking at him here, they're playing single high coverage. The Saints think they got him. They're going to move around. They know they got man. He's going to try and affect his eyes, but he jumps the route and takes it 108 yards. The playmaking ability of the safety, we've got to be aware of him in the passing game as well as after this 100-yard run in the run game as well.
All right, so he can knock that football out. He's got an eye for doing it, right?
Yeah, what he really does is, again, being instinctive and around the ball. Here's a free safety who's down in the box. They're going to run the ball over here. He's going to match the feet of the back. Now he's going to attack and peanut punch the football at the right time, creating a turnover for the defense.
All right, there you have it from Will McClay. And the Mike McCarthy Show continues in just a moment when the head coach rejoins us.
Great grades, you said ball hawking guys who've been around for a while. Veterans know how to read concepts. I've played against this defense a bunch, I guess you can say, and just the scheme point, understanding they're going to have vision on me, but giving me things underneath, doing that, and then when they come up, take advantage of it, being able to move them with my eyes. But it starts with having awareness where Bates and Simmons both are.
Boys, nice. They got a young group back there, and Jesse Bates is playing the best ball, obviously. Being in the same class as AJ Terrell, very familiar with him. He's a hell of a corner. Very tall, lengthy, got ball skills, very aggressive. And then I think they got Justin Simmons over there too, if I'm not mistaken. He's a ball hawk himself, so we got our hands full, but I'm sure we can handle up.
This segment was brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort. Proud to be the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Please game responsibly.
The Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, continues now here inside the Globe Live studios as the coach rejoins me here. And let's talk about your offense a little bit. Do you find with the success that the team had, especially in the fourth quarter of last week's game, that there can be carryover to the next week?
Well, I mean, we're confident. This is probably about as accountable group of men you can have. So, I think it's just we're more focused on our self-improvement because not only the fourth quarter, but, we did some things good there in the first and second quarter, but the self-inflicted mistakes that we're having. So that's really where our focus is.
CeeDee Lamb tied his career high with 13 catches in that game, and just his playmaking ability. Even when the defense knows that the ball is going to CeeDee, it seems like CeeDee has the ability to get open.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's a special player. I mean, he's obviously our featured player, and and it's important to to put him in those positions. But also what comes off of that, it creates opportunities for others, and that's an area where we can really improve on.
All right, this Atlanta defense, Raheem Morris with Jimmy Lake as his defensive coordinator, again coming over from the Rams. One guy that sticks out in particular, Jesse Bates at safety. And when you talk about a guy who tries to take the ball away, he's one of the best in the league at that.
Without a doubt, both safeties, frankly, but Bates is all over the field. I mean, there's some clips where he's just clearly coming out of the middle of the field and and cutting a shallow cross route for a big play. So you definitely have to be aware of him. Excellent in the ball extraction techniques. We do a weekly cut up around the league of all the ball security challenges. And he's usually on it. So I mean, that's a real credit to him. So yeah, definitely something we have to be aware of.
And as far as pass protection this week, the Falcons don't have a lot of sacks, but they did acquire Matt Judon, who has a track record in this league of getting to the quarterback. How do you view things as far as that goes this week?
Very smart player on the edge. I think he does a great job of recognizing. Obviously, his pass rush is premier, but I think his instinct and understanding, and particularly now in this scheme, he's definitely someone we have to be on top of.
Yeah, you alluded to it a moment ago, the things you did in the first half of the game against San Francisco, in particular the 65-yard drive in 11 plays, the mix of the run and the pass. You feel like you made strides in the run game? I mean, at a certain point in that game, Zeke had 7 carries for 35 yards, averaging 5 yards a carry in that game against San Francisco.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the third quarter is really, you want to talk about statistics. That's where it got sideways for us. So, we had the 3 and outs in the third quarter. Third down conversions, and they were favorable third down situations for us. So, but yeah, definitely, I thought we had a good run pass mix in the first half.
And how about Cooper Beebe and how he's coming along now?
Cooper's doing a good job. Super consistent young man. Every week's going to be a new challenge for him because it's his first year, and they continue to challenge up front with the different with a lot of movement and so forth. This is a heavy scheme defense, so the pressure looks are abundant. So, but he's done a great job in the area of communication, and knock on wood, we're going to need it this week. With the silent count and things like that on the road.
And Dalvin Cook got his first action last week. What's the process been like for him getting him up to speed here?
It's been good. Probably not as fast as he would like, but it's been great having him here. I mean, he's a true pro. Just now seeing him get comfortable, not only with how we're playing, but the communication and language is a huge part of it. But I think he's just been an excellent fit for us.
All right, we wrap up the Mike McCarthy Show, and we continue in just a moment.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
Final couple of minutes here of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Time for my Unsung Star of the Week, and people will be scratching their head because this guy should not be an unsung star. He's been doing it for over a decade in this league at the highest of levels, but I want to throw out kudos to Zach Martin. And not only in his 11th year, he turns 34 actually this month, with 9 Pro Bowls to his credit, but watching him week in and week out, and no matter what might be nagging him as far as injuries are concerned, he is consistently out there all the time. And so I want to give the shout out to Zach this week.
That's a great shout out. An unbelievable pro, excellent teammate. He's a joy to work with. But just like you said, he's done it for so long at a high level. And, not only just the way he plays, but gosh, the impact that he has on our young players. It's been outstanding.
And how about when times in the middle of a season when you can lean on a veteran like that, and you have others like him on this team? How much does that help you as a coach in knowing that you got that kind of veteran leadership on your team?
You have to have it. You have to have it, and he's a great example of it. Frankly, everybody in that locker room has an opportunity to be a leader on a certain level, even if it's just by example. So something that we really encourage, and he's the illustration of what it looks like.
All right. We appreciate it, Mike. Good luck against those Falcons in Atlanta. We thank you for joining us here on the Mike McCarthy Show. And up next, the Cowboys will be back home next week with the Philadelphia Eagles in town. See you then.
The Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant, is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. Ford, your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. And to watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV.